Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ, where we help you lead with purpose and succeed with impact. If you're ready to grow into the kind of leader others want to follow, this podcast is for you. If you're determined to elevate your success and leave a lasting legacy, this podcast is for you. As my mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell reminds us, everything rises and falls on leadership. Our goal is simple: to inspire you, challenge you, and equip you with insights that can transform the trajectory of your leadership journey. Welcome aboard to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching the special edition of the Leadership and Success podcast. So, today we're going to be speaking about ancient wisdom, mentoring from the Book of Proverbs. Specifically, ancient wisdom and leadership lesson from the Book of Proverbs. We're going to study chapter 9 today. And today is January 9, so we're going to continue this until the end of the month. And we're going to end with Proverbs chapter 31, the last chapter of the Book of Proverbs. So before we do our moment of gratitude, so if you would maybe close your eyes as is our custom here, and put yourself in your happy place. Take a deep breath. Calm your nervous system. And what are you grateful for right now? I think I am really grateful for the United States of America. I believe it was Reagan, President Reagan, who called it the city upon the hill. And I think America is a very, very special country, just the way it was formed and all of the founding document, extremely aspirational, speaking about all men being equal. And I believe that with time, that is going to become a reality for all of the citizens of America. America has a great promise. I think it's a country worth fighting for. I believe, by and large, we've really been a great superpower, right? The Navy, which I am a commander in the U.S. Navy, I believe is a force for good. And I am grateful for America and all of the great work that we've done all around the world. It's not a perfect country. No country is, but it's definitely better than most, in my opinion. Anyway, I am grateful for my country. So let us know what you are grateful for. Type it in the comments. And also let us know where you are joining us from, what city, what state. And if you are outside of the U.S., which country. And as I go through my thoughts about the Book of Proverbs chapter 9 today, I'd like to hear from you as well. Please let us know which verses in Proverbs chapter 9 kind of jumped at you and what are your thoughts on that. And then you can also let me know what are your thoughts on what I am going to be highlighting today. All right. Without any further ado, let's start with Ron Carpenter AI take on Proverbs chapter 1 through 8, just to kind of give us a quick summary of what we've already studied so far. And again, for those watching, if this is your first podcast, you can go back on LinkedIn, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app, and you can listen to what we said about Proverbs chapter 1 through 8. Everything is available for free on all of the major podcasts plus LinkedIn and YouTube. All right, let's do the review. Here we go.
Hi, this is Pastor Ron Carpenter. How can I help? All right, listen closely. Proverbs chapter 1 is all about the beginning of wisdom, and that start is the fear of the Lord. It's about getting wisdom, getting instruction, spirit of wisdom and revelation so you can see life clearly and make choices that don't mess you up. The whole thing points to the fact that wisdom isn't just a heart posture, a way of living that sets you apart. That's the big idea right there. Chapter 2 picks up from that foundation in chapter 1 and digs into why wisdom is like your best friend, your protector. It shows how wisdom saves you from the fools and you see, it's about hearing God's voice early, before trouble hits, so you can live long, peaceful days. The fear of the Lord keeps you safe and gives you avoid all kinds of foolishness. That's the big deal there. All right, chapter 3 is like wisdom's personal invitation. It tells us to trust the Lord with all our heart and not our own understanding. Come on, that's powerful. When you do that, He'll make your path straight, guiding you through life with success and peace. It's about leaning in, not just knowing God's favor daily. That's a dang good life lesson right there. All right, chapter 4 is like the pep talk from your wise, loving dad, telling you to grab hold of wisdom and never about guarding your heart, because everything you do flows from it, and you got to stay clear of folly that leads to destruction. It's a strong companion and your priority, period. That's the heart of it. All right, chapter 5 is a warning about the dangers of temptation, especially the seductive traps that can wreck your life and your future. It's got about staying faithful and wise, not falling for foolish shortcuts or lies that seem sweet and bitter. The message is your eyes locked on what's righteous and don't let yourself get fooled. That's the big point right there. All right, Proverbs chapter 6 is packed with tough love. It warns about foolish promises, laziness, and how God hates those among brothers. But the star of the show is that little ant. Man, that ant shows us what diligence and foresight look like, working steady and preparing ahead. That's the kind of wisdom God wants us to get, practical, real, and hard-earned. All right, chapter 7 is like this desperate shout from wisdom warning you about getting caught up in temptation, especially that sneaky kind that looks good but wrecks you. Wisdom screaming for you to wake up, guard your heart, and choose the right way before it's too late. That's the big idea right there. Third is wisdom personified like a woman calling out in the streets, inviting folks to live life the right way. It's about how wisdom was with God before creation, showing wisdom is divine order and foundation for everything. The big idea, listen to wisdom's call and you'll walk in safety and honor.
So that was the review from chapter 1 through chapter 8. So today we're going to start with chapter 9. So the big idea from my point of view in chapter 9, it really presents leadership as a daily choice between two invitations, wisdom and folly. Both call out publicly, offer hospitality, and promise outcomes. But only one will lead to life, the other leads to death. So you can guess wisdom will lead to life and folly will not. So this chapter teaches that leadership is not neutral. Every decision moves us toward growth or decay. Wise leaders cultivate discernment, welcome correction, and choose long-term substance over short-term ease. So foolish leaders, on the other hand, they reject accountability, confuse confidence with competence, and mistake volume for truth. So the theme for chapter 9 is leadership is defined not by the invitation you receive, but by the voice you choose to follow, wisdom or folly. All right. Let's read Proverbs chapter 9, verses 1 and 2. So the first leadership lesson is build before you lead. Build before you lead. All right, let's listen to that. Verses 1 and 2.
Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has also furnished her table.
So wisdom has built a house. So wisdom is portrayed as a builder, establishing foundation, preparing a table, and planning with intention. Strong leadership is constructed long before authority is exercised. One of my mentor, Brian Tracy, used to say all the time, you have to measure twice and cut once. Preparation is really what's going to help you be more successful. I think that long-term perspective, prepare before you execute. So how do you apply this? Invest in character, in systems, and people before seeking to scale or visibility. Prepare your organization for success before inviting others to join. So, what leadership infrastructure are you neglecting right now? And are you building for sustainability or just for speed? Anchor reflection. So, wise leadership is intentional architecture, not improvised reaction. All right, lesson number 2. Extend clear and open invitation. That's going to be verses 3 through 6.
She has sent out her maidens. She cries out from the highest places of the city.
Whoever is simple, let him turn in here.
As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him,
Come, eat of my bread and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding.
Wow. Forsake foolishness and live, which means do not forsake foolishness and die. So wisdom calls openly and inclusively, offering clarity, not confusion. And effective leaders, they communicate purpose plainly and invite others into growth. So how do we apply this? Articulate mission and values consistently and invite people to mature, not merely to comply. All right. So is your vision accessible or ambiguous? And who are you intentionally inviting into growth? You've got to be intentional. So the anchor reflection here is clarity is an act of leadership generosity. Remember, yesterday I talked to Charlie Wetzel, a prolific writer. He's the writing companion for John C. Maxwell. So for those following the podcast, one of our primary curriculum for this season and last season, season 4, was the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, written by Dr. John C. Maxwell. But Charlie Wetzel was his writing partner for this project and many, many other projects, more than 100 books in 30 years. And many of them New York Times bestsellers. What Charlie says is, as an author, when he writes, he always wants to take very complex idea and simplify it so that it's clear for his reader. It's very important to him as a writer to use clarity. He says clarity is a form of respect. There's respecting the reader who's going to pick up one of his books, is going to read this, so they have clear understanding of what those concepts are. And that is so powerful. Clarity is an act of generosity. It's really an act of respect. All right. Lesson number 3. Correction will reveal character. That's verses 7, 8, and 9.
He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself, and he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning.
Wow. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. We really have to embrace correction. Seek wisdom. Correction will reveal your character. So how someone responds to correction reveals whether they are teachable or threatened. Wise leaders grow stronger through feedback. And it's kind of easier to receive correction from people who love you, who come from a position of love. They admire you and they really wish the best from you, whether it's your spouse, a mentor or a big brother, a big sister, a parent, you know where they come from, and it's much, much easier to receive correction from them. But what about people who may not like you at all for whatever reason? Would you still receive correction from them? And this has happened to me a couple of times throughout my life now. I feel like I am really a likable guy, and anybody would really, be thrilled to speak with me and be my friend. I really consider everybody to be my friend when I first meet them. It is really uh, uh, a powerful way, I think, to look at the world. But sometimes some people, they don't reciprocate. They don't want to be friendly, and they don't like me for whatever reason. So what I would say about that is even people who don't like you, even people who come from the wrong point of view, you can still learn from them, because in all of the dirt that they present to you, there's still some gold in it, and you have to dig for the gold. Because even what they say, even though they don't mean it well, you can still use it for your own advantage to get better and to improve. All right, that is really powerful. I think it reminds me of the story. Pastor Asmos was the one who told me about this. It was a farmer who lost, I believe it was a goat, and the goat fell into a well, and the farmer started crying for his goat, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna bury the goat," and starting, took a shovel and took some dirt and was trying to bury the goat inside the well. And every time the dirt would fall on the goat's back, he would just shake it off and then step on top of it. And the goat would keep doing that until eventually the goat got at the top of the well and was able to jump off. So basically, whatever trash, whatever crap, whatever uh, negative things that people say about you, I think it's in your best interest, being a wise person, to look for the gold in that sewage, look for the gold in that dirt, and then use the gold and get rid of the dirt. And I think eventually you are going to get better and you are going to improve in spite of what some other people may think about you. I believe that's wisdom. So, how do you apply this? So you have to normalize constructive feedback in your culture and reward humility and learning, not defensiveness. Don't be defensive. Okay, that is powerful. And it looks like we have Norbert Biederman who's saying hi. Good to have you on the show, Norbert. Let us know where you are coming from and what you are grateful for today. And also, if you have any insight on the Book of Proverbs, chapter 9, let us know. And if you also have any comment about what I'm talking about, what I'm sharing, let us know as well. Thank you for being here. All right. So, how do I emotionally respond to correction? Again, if you are going to be wise, you have to be open for input. You have to be open for feedback. And sometimes people may not be open to that, and that is okay. Don't waste your time trying to help them or advising them when they are not open to it. So, does your team feel safe offering truth upward? If you have a boss, it's really important, I believe, for you to always allow your direct report to speak truth to you no matter what. They need to speak their mind, and then you, as the boss, will make the final decision. But you do need to listen, and your direct report need to feel safe, telling you what they really think, even though it's against what you are trying to do. Listen, and then you make up your mind. But now, once you make up your mind as the boss, as the commanding officer, as the person in charge, then they all have to align with what you are trying to do. But you do have to listen, and you do need to create an environment where they are willing, right, to speak truth to you. All right. So next lesson number 4: reverence anchors wisdom. Reverence anchors wisdom. That is quite powerful. Okay, let's read verse 10. Reverence anchors wisdom.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding.
So again, reverence anchors wisdom. All right. The fear of the Lord represents reverence, accountability, and moral grounding. So leadership without reverence will kind of drift into ego. And I want to put a quick plug. My mentor's book. I interviewed Chris Robinson, season 4, episode 2 last year, From Drift to Drive. Great book. As a leader, eventually you experience a certain level of success, and then you kind of just drift. And it's always good to kind of get back in on track, right? Because leadership without reverence will drift into ego, and you need to keep your ego in check. And that's a great resource to read. So how do you apply this? Lead with ethical clarity, even under pressure, or I would say especially under pressure. So remember that authority is stewardship, not entitlement. Another one of my mentor, General Big, says, right, rank is rented, but trust is earned. Whatever rank you might have, whatever position you might have, it's only for a small amount of time. You can be the CEO, the president, the commanding officer, the manager, the uh, general or director for a specific period of time. After a while, you are going to vacate that position. Somebody else is going to take over. So your rank is rented. So keep that in mind. You are just a steward. You're just doing it for a very small amount of time for your organization. And after a while, you're going to make room for somebody else. So that doesn't last forever. Even I came from the Republic of the Congo. That's where I am originally from. And today, the president who's president of the Congo today is the same one who was president when I was born, if you can believe that. It's been 40 plus years now. He is still in office. But the truth is, at some point, even if you are a dictator, gravity, life is going to happen, and at some point you will pass away. So you cannot be president for life, and somebody else is going to take over, whether through an election, or if you have a constitution like we do in the US that only allows 2 terms for a president. But at some point you will no longer be president of your country or in charge of your organization. No, it's inevitable. It is just life. So be a good steward while you are in charge. Take care of your people, focus on your mission, and do what is good for your organization and your people. All right. So it's important then what anchors your decision when no one is watching. Because I think leadership is really important, not when you are on the podium, not when the spotlight is on you, but what you do when nobody else is watching. And again, for my ethics class, one thing I think about a lot is what would my grandmother think of me if she knew I was doing this or making this decision when nobody else is watching. If she would be proud, that's definitely something I should consider doing. But if she wouldn't be, maybe I shouldn't do that. So what anchors your decision when no one is watching? And do you lead with humility or self-importance? So ego, I think, is fine, but too much ego can be very dangerous. So you have to keep your ego in check. So reverence keeps leadership aligned when power tempts distortion. All right, lesson number 5. Choices compound over time. That's verses 11 and 12. Choices compound over time.
For by me your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. If you are wise for yourself. And if you scoff, you will bear it alone.
Again, choices compound over time. Wisdom extends life and influence, but folly will accelerate self-destruction. Leaders live with the long-term consequences of their choices. There's another book here I would like to plug. I thought I had it here. Let me see. Yeah, this one. The Compound Effect by another one of my mentor, Darren Hardy. Great book. Jumpstart your income, your life, and your success. Really, the main idea from this book is in order for you to be successful, you have to do the right thing and keep doing the right thing until you see a result, right? Because most people who get in trouble, it doesn't happen overnight, right? It takes time. And for the compound effect to kind of work on whatever seed you are planting. But eventually you will see the result, good or bad. So you have to have that long-term perspective, knowing that you want to live with the long-term consequences of your choices today. So knowing what you want, your vision, your goals for the future, what should you do today in order for you to reach that goal 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? What should be your action now? And be consistent in doing it. And eventually you will reach your reward. All right. So, how do you apply this? Choose decisions that compound trust and credibility every day. Be consistent, be credible, be reliable, and avoid shortcuts that mortgage your future. Again, be consistent, avoiding those. So, what habit today shapes your leadership tomorrow? And are you choosing convenience over consequence? So, the anchor reflection is on leadership trajectory are shaped quietly and daily. Every single day, we need that consistency. All right, lesson number 6. Loud confidence is not competence. So, verses 13, 14, and 15. Loud confidence is not competence.
A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing, for she sits at the door of her house, on a seat by the highest places of the city, to call to those who pass by, who go straight on their way.
All right, it is talking about the foolish woman here, but I'm talking about loud confidence is not competence. So folly is loud, simplistic, seductive, offering ease without effort. Right? Sometimes when it's too good to be true, it really is too good to be true. That's another thing that Brian Tracy taught me. People looking for quick fixes, easy money, where they don't have to work, they don't have to pay a price, and they want to get everything free. But when you do that, eventually you are going to fall into a ditch. Right? Poor leadership often masquerade as bold certainty. Sometimes it's very, very loud. You see advertising everywhere, but just because somebody is loud doesn't mean that they are right. So how do we apply this? Beware of leaders who promise outcomes without discipline, and test confidence against substance. So are you drawn to what is easy or what is right? There's a difference. There's usually a price to pay for what is right. You may have to, spend money, dedicate your time, your energy. It's like getting a degree. At one point, I was working on 2 masters at the same time, a master of science in management and a master of business administration. I had to spend a lot of time going through my homework, doing a lot of reading and writing, and I was really dedicated to that effort. It took time, it took energy, but it was for a worthy cause, right? So I would dedicate my life for about 2 years actually, it took me about three years to accomplish that. 2 years for the first degree, and then an extra year for the MBA. But however long it takes, you've got your vision, you know what you do, and then you just commit to it. Spend time, spend money, spend energy, but focus on what you want, and eventually you are going to earn your degree. So the anchor reflection here is volume will never substitute for wisdom. And also think about this. Do you equate charisma with capability? Just because somebody is charismatic doesn't mean that they are right, and doesn't mean that they are wise. Okay, always look for the substance. All right, our final lesson today, lesson 7, short-term pleasure has long-term cost. All right, again, thinking about the long-term perspective. So let's read verses 16, 17, and 18.
Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And as for him who lacks understanding, she says to him,
Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
but he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell.
He does not know. So it seems very pleasurable right now. It seems very convenient right now, but the end of it is death. All right, short-term pleasure has long-term cost. So many people, they have lost their marriage, they have lost a relationship with their children because of temporary pleasure. So think short-term pleasure. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. What is the cost to it? All right, so folly will hide consequences, offering secrecy and speed. And whatever is done in the darkness eventually will always come to light. So leaders fall when they ignore and sin costs. When you see a red flag, you really have to address it. Another thing one of my trusted mentors told me when I became a commanding officer is whenever you notice something, you see something that doesn't meet the standard of your unit, of your command, you cannot just walk by, because if you do, then that becomes your new standard. So you do have to address it. This is below the standard and we need to fix this. It needs to meet the standard of our unit, of our organization every time. It doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter the rank. This is our unit, this is our command, and these are our standard, these are our core value, and that's what we're gonna live by. And if for whatever reason we haven't met that standard, we need to work until we do, and not just ignore it. Because the moment you ignore that, that becomes your new standard. All right, so pay attention. So how do we apply this? So expose decisions to accountability, be accountable. And I think everybody should have an accountability group. You need to have a personal board of director, people you go to when you have to make hard decision to get wise advice, people that you trust, right? Ask who pays the price later for today's gain. So what consequences are you minimizing right now? And where might secrecy be eroding your integrity? So here's the anchor reflection, lesson 7. Hidden costs will eventually surface, often at the worst moment. All right, as our closing statement for Proverbs chapter 9, this chapter really confronts leaders with a defining reality. Every leader is always choosing a table, either the table of wisdom or the table of folly. Wisdom builds patiently, invites growth, and welcomes correction, and yields life. But folly, on the other hand, will flatter, shortcut, and conceal consequences, but leads to collapse eventually. So leadership maturity is measured by discernment, humility, and the courage to choose the harder right over the easier wrong. That's wisdom, and that's leadership. All right, I'm going to be back tomorrow for chapter 10 of the book of Proverbs. Ancient wisdom, mentoring from the book of Proverbs. Again, ancient wisdom and leadership lesson from the book of Proverbs. We did chapter 9 today. We're going to do chapter 10 tomorrow. And this Sunday, I will have the pleasure of speaking with Daya Ramesh, a cybersecurity leader. We're going to be talking about cybersecurity being existential. And then next week, I will have the great pleasure of speaking with Commander Erica Dobbs, U.S. Navy, retired. Like me, she joined the Navy as a seaman recruit, which is the lowest rank in the military, and she retired at my current rank, which is commander, a senior officer in the most powerful Navy in the world. We're going to be speaking from seaman recruit to Navy commander turned CEO. So I believe that's going to be Wednesday next week. And on the same day, I'm going to be speaking to the one and only Lisa Fenn. She's a mentoring architect. She wrote 2 best-selling books on mentorship, The Mentor's Guide and Bridging Differences for Better Mentoring. And she also has a TEDx talk on mentorship. We're going to be talking about living out loud, how mentoring builds leaders, cultures, and career. It's going to be a very fascinating talk. You do not want to miss this. All right, until tomorrow, when we cover Proverbs chapter 10 in our Ancient Wisdom and Leadership lesson series, have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If today's episode added value to your leadership journey, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us again for more wisdom nuggets on how to lead better and achieve greater success. Remember, leadership is the most critical skill of our time. The world will always need leaders to inspire others, drive innovation, and execute meaningful strategy. So why not count yourself among the bold leaders shaping the 21st century? Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep leading with excellence.